We're joined now by the Motown phenom himself, Kevin Lee, via the magic of Skype. There he is. Kevin, how are you?
What's happening? What's happening, area?
Oh, not much. Another day, another Monday. Great to talk to you. I'm very excited. When do you head out to New Jersey?
Tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Kind of my final preparations today, and it's on the first plane back over to Atlantic City. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I know you were with Edson for a day or so. You went to a Sixers game. You had to do some media. What was that like being around him for that day?
It was cool. It was interesting. I mean, Edson, he's the type of dude where he don't really give you too much. He speaks perfect English, but he really don't talk too much, you know. So we really didn't have too many back and forths. He's a nice guy. What can I say about him?
Do you prefer someone who gives you a little more to work with?
Sometimes. I mean, but each fight is different. I just kind of, especially for this fight, I'm doing my own thing. I've been in my bag. I've been like kind of sitting in the dark, just focusing on just the fight, because that's what really matters. It's getting that W this Saturday night.
Okay. And by the way, we have a lot to talk about, but your division has been in focus the last couple of weeks. Curious if you saw the Poirier-Gaethje fight on Saturday, and if so, what did you make of actually both guys? I mean, Poirier and what he did, and also Gaethje and how he performed.
Yeah, I seen it. I mean, I know Poirier was calling for a title fight and all this, but I don't know. It just seems like those dudes are just in a different category in it. You know, can you really look at it and say Poirier's a championship level fighter? I just don't see it. I mean, he looked good. He did good versus Gaethje. It was an exciting fight. I think he should go out and look for more exciting fights. But it didn't really seem like a championship level fight to me, to be honest.
Wow. So you're not buying what he's selling. You're not sold on Dustin Poirier.
I'm especially speaking as a fan. What are you really looking for? He's just gonna go out there and get taken down by Khabib. He's gonna fight just like anybody else will fight Khabib or fight some of these top guys. I don't know. I just don't see too much from his style, except exciting fights. I think him and Eddie, him and Gaethje again, something like that. He makes exciting fights. He should go out there and keep doing that, but lead a real fighting and a real championship level shit to the other guys.
Uh, Gaethje takes a lot of.
I'm leaving it at what it is. The whole situation, the whole division is going to play out the way it's going to.
Okay.
It's just my job this Saturday to go out there and make a statement.
Sure. And I'm just curious your thoughts on Gaethje, because very exciting fighter, was undefeated for a long time, but he takes a lot of damage. And now we're wondering if his style is catching up to him. Like if he doesn't evolve, his career is gonna, end pretty shortly. What do you make it? Do you think that he's just like the kind of guy who's gonna take a lot of damage and that's who he is, or that he should evolve his style?
I think he know that. I think he got into this game with a different. Let's say both of them. They seem like they got a different type of mindset. He's out there just for putting on fun fights. Which, if that's what you're doing, is cool. If that's what he wants to do, I mean, it's his brain, it's his body, it's his health. It's up to him what he want to do with it. It seemed like he just is okay with just being that and just going out there and getting his brain beat in. So what can I can't tell a man what to do. The man,
Sure,
he's
sure.
grown. So.
But something tells me you're not about that life. You're not one to want to get. You're going in there to get the least amount of damage possible, right?
Yeah, I mean, I got into the sport to be the most well-rounded fighter that there is. That's been my goal since day one, and I'm still building towards that. I'm still working towards that, and that's what they're gonna see on Saturday night. I promise the fans a new me when I come back, and that's what I'm gonna show. And I'm gonna show a more complete, well-rounded fighter, not just somebody that's just gonna go out there and just bleed for folks. It don't make sense to me.
What do you mean new you? Because we hear this a lot in the fight game. Oh, it's a new me, best training camp of my life, and all this stuff. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, you hear it a lot, and you hear, oh, it's the best weight cut, and oh, I'm injury free, and oh, I'm going through all this. With me, it's just about that experience. I've already fought at the top level now. I've got that experience underneath my belt, and I'm going to go out there. I feel like this is a fight between the two best athletes in the division, and it's going to be the person that can overcome mentally that's going to win. And once my mental side catch up to my physical side, then there's not a man that's going to stop me. So that's what I'm going to show during this fight, is that the mental is there. I feel like I've already been one of the top athletes, and it's undeniable. But now I'll be one of the most well-rounded once I bring that mental up to it.
Considering how his last fight went against Khabib, who of course is someone with the wrestling background, as you are, someone with a wrestling background, are you surprised that he accepted this fight?
A little. I mean, but I had to give it to him. I had to give it to Edson. It, I got offered a couple fights. Edson's always been one of the toughest fights in the division. I think he's the top striker for sure. And he's never lost two in a row. So I think he's gonna come out and he's gonna be super hungry. I think I'm gonna fight a much better version of Edson than that fought Khabib. And that kind of stuff that excites me. That get me up in the morning. I'm not one of these dudes that go out there and look for easy fights, and I want an easy win coming back and just kind of get my feet wet or whatever. Like I want the toughest, hardest challenge that there is, and I think Edson is. I think he's gonna step up to the plate on this one, especially just taking the fight against me. Just shows that he's ready to fight. I don't think he's gonna go out there and just lay down.
Did you watch that fight against Khabib a lot? Like, did you study that in preparation for this one? And are you going to try to replicate some of the things that Khabib did in that fight?
I mean, there's holes in Edson's game that show in all of his fights. I think he's doing a. I don't know. I mean, I'm expecting the best version of him, so I'm expecting him to clear up some of them holes. But there's holes that show in all his fights. The Khabib fight was good, but it was so many guys that did so much better against him. Khabib just kind of went out there and ran him over, and but Khabib was eating a lot of shots. He was really square coming forward. I wasn't too impressed with his. I said it many times. I wasn't too impressed with his performance. So I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna put a whooping on him much worse than that, much worse than Tony gave him. And I think that's what's really gonna shine through. Khabib beat him, but I'm gonna beat him in all aspects. Khabib he did what he was gonna do. If I go out there and do that, then it's gonna be the same shit.
I was actually just about to ask you about that because I remember right after that fight in December, you did one of those scrums and you said, oh, you weren't all that impressed with Khabib, all that stuff. I was like, wow. I mean, the guy had a couple of 10-8 rounds. How can you not be impressed? So now I'm dying to ask you, what did you make of Khabib's performance against Ally Quinta a couple of weeks ago?
I ain't never been impressed with the man. He fought somebody who came on here on this show and said that he was scared to fight him a couple of weeks before they fought, and he fought like that. He fought scared. Al was getting ready for a striker in a 3-round fight. How much wrestling did he do? He had a blown knee. He was out selling homes for 2 years. He wasn't even a pro fighter. So, and he still went 5 rounds with the man. So I ain't never been too impressed with him. You know me, I've been calling out Khabib for years.
I know.
When I get my hands, man, then they really gonna know. I can't wait for that. But right now is I'm gonna focus on Edson. Edson's gonna come out like a ball of fire. He's gonna be strong. He's gonna be explosive. And it's my job to go out there and put his lights out, and then we'll see where everything shake up.
I really do have to give you credit. You have been calling this man out for years, and at a time when no one wanted to fight him. But can you expand? Like, what weren't you impressed with his performance on April 7th?
And so, I mean, he's gonna need more than a low single to beat somebody like me. It's just he flails for the legs, and then he just begs you to give up. And it's just not gonna happen. I mean, I can't even. Folks don't even know. Like I can't wait. So I'm gonna leave that one on the back burner for now. But I just can't. That one gets my blood boiling. And like I said, after that fight, that was just new motivation because now he's walking around with this 12 pounds on his shoulder. I can't wait to steal it from him.
And I know you and Al haven't always seen eye to eye, but do you give him some props for stepping up on 24 hours notice and fighting like that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was a good fighter. He just was going up against too much there. Getting ready for a 3-round fight against a striker to fighting somebody that he's scared of on the ground is, it was just too much to handle. But I gave him props. He still showed up. He still made good adjustments during the fight too. He's a decent. Al's decent. I still feel like that rematch is still there for me to be had down the road. But yeah, we'll see how everything. It's one step at a time.
Your division is the glamour division of the UFC. I mean, here we have 3 weekends in a row where lightweights are in the main event. The biggest stars, I think, in the sport right now. Obviously, Conor's there, and Khabib is there. He's right, with Conor in terms of popularity these days. And it feels like just like the most amount of action, and it's neck and neck in terms of who fights for the belt next. Do you think that there's a chance? You look really impressive against Edson, because there's no guarantee Conor comes back and fights Khabib for the belt. Do you think there's a chance that you can leapfrog some guys and get the Khabib fight next?
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. Like I said, even all that fiasco and everything shaking up last week with Khabib and Tony and all this, like I apologize. I reached out to him and apologized to the UFC for letting that happen. If I would have showed up healthy against Tony Ferguson, that week in Brooklyn would have been completely different looking. So I apologize, but I'm gonna right my wrongs after this fight. And then once I get that 12 pounds on me, then I'll write all this. I'll clear up this whole division. You know, it's muddy right now, and I feel like it's all my fault, and I'm taking personal responsibility for it.
Wow.
But yeah, give me about a year's time, and it'll all be etched out, and they'll know who the true king around here is.
So it was eating you up inside. You were thinking, if I won that fight in October, none of this would be happening. This would be a lot cleaner right now.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, how can I not? But again, it's just added motivation. It never really distracted me from, and my fight was in 2 weeks after that. I had some fun that night. I watched the fights, enjoyed it. But I'm keeping my eyes on the prize. For this whole camp, I've been in my bag. You ain't seen no, I ain't been in pink jogging suits or no, wearing buffs or anything. I've been in sweatpants, white t-shirts, and running shoes every day. I'm in my bag. I'm ready to fight.
And by the way, I had a feeling I would hear from Ally Quinta in the middle of this interview, and he has texted me, so he does appear to be watching. He just wanted to say, tell him I said I would rather fight other losers like him. I never said I was scared of anyone. What the F is he talking about being scared?
I mean, he said he was. I don't. Hey, I listened to your show just as much as the next guy. It sounded like the man said he was scared. He said, "I never fight Khabib for any amount of money or whatever." He said. I mean, look, I'll watch my every move. Keep watching, and look, I'll show you how to do it right once I get my hands on that man. I'll show him how to do it right, and then maybe he can get his chance again.
He's also asking, what the F does being in his bag mean?
You got a question about the fight, Ariel? You got a question about the fight, or you want to talk to Al? If you want to talk to Al,
no,
call him on Skype.
He's texting me in the middle of, okay, I'm sorry.
I got you, but if you want to talk to Al,
okay,
we got his number.
Fair enough. You're right. By the way, could I just ask about the whole scene? What did you make of that whole scene with the bus and throwing things, getting in handcuffs? What did you make of all of that? The biggest star of our sport.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I thought it was. I thought it was laughable, really. I sat back and I mean, he trying his best, but I thought the whole thing was laughable. When you got that kind of money, I don't see how you pictured on anything, throwing anything. It don't make sense to me. Like I said, the guy, he want to be a gangster. He want to be all this. He might have grew up poor, but they was working class. They was working, man. He wanted to be a plumber. He wasn't never really street life. I hope that somebody get into his ear that's really about the life and will tell him and tell him settle down and just, stick to what you know how to do. Go back to being a plumber.
Do you think that he will even be reprimanded by the UFC, or do you think that once he's ready to return, that they'll just give him, whatever fight he wants?
I don't know. We'll see how the things shake out. If he is, then he gonna end up fighting Khabib. That'll probably be his reprimand. That'll be his punishment for it. I don't think he matches up too well against Khabib. I think he know it too. Like I said, I think a lot of that whole fiasco was frustration coming out on his part because he know he's not the real champ. He know he ain't never been the real champ at 155, and that frustration just came out in like a childish ass way where he can feel like he can do what he wants.
Who do you think wins in that fight? You pick Khabib?
I don't know. It's a tough fight. Part of me feels like Conor would sleep him, but then part of me feels like Khabib. Well, I don't know. As the fight gets closer, I would have to see. Especially how they training camps go and all that. We'll see. My gut, my gut just tell me that Khabib would beat him, but Khabib's so damn slow, so square. He's so desperate for them takedowns. We'll see how the whole thing play out. But I'm just focused on my own fight and how I match up against either one. I think I'd beat the shit out of either one of them if we being honest here.
Really? Like, it's not even close.
No, I don't even think it would be close. I mean, I think I'm more well-rounded than either one of them put together. So we'll see. They'll see on Saturday night. We'll leave it for Edson to go out there. He'll do his thing. I'm gonna do my thing even better. And then you tell me after our fight
Fair enough.
how well I match up against one of them.
Now, could I ask you, the last time we spoke, you still weren't 100% as to who would corner you. Of course, after the passing of your coach, Robert Follis, who have you trained with? Where have you trained for this fight? And who will be in your corner on Saturday?
I've done a lot of my training. It's still over in Vegas. Still at Extreme Couture. Still at the UFC PI. You know, I still over a lot of One Kick Nick's gym. Dewey Cooper will still be in my corner. Eric Nixick over at Extreme Couture will. My brother Keith Lee, and then my strength and conditioning coach Courtney. It's gonna be all hands on deck still. Still kind of the same team. It's just we missing that head piece, which brings he brought something to the game that I think I still have in me. You know what I mean? I still remember everything that he told me. I still remember what he brought wasn't necessarily something that can be replaced. So that ain't even what I really looked to do during this camp. I brought out a lot of great training partners. I had about 6, 7 high level, Muay Thai champions. I've had, Yair Rodriguez came out and helped me. A couple guys that I've got to spar with, Anthony Ninjakawani, maybe 3 or 4 other high level kickboxers. So I feel confident in the camp, and it's gonna show during the fight.
What has it been like to prepare for this fight without him? Because I know he's more than a coach. He's obviously a brilliant mind and a mentor to a lot of his fighters. To not have him there as you prepare and you go through the grind of training camp, what has that been like for you?
I mean, it's been different, but each training camp is different. Each fight is different. Each preparation is different. I'll really be able to tell you after the fight how it felt.
Yeah.
But it's been different. But to me, it's been all focused. I've really, even the things that he used to tell me, I would kind of ignore in the past, and because I got a little bit of brashness still to me, like I'm like I'm like yeah, I hear you. He told me put my hands up. I'm like whatever, But now it's really where I've had to focus on the things that he used to tell me, and I feel like I brought those out. So we'll see during, like I said, after the fight, I'll really be able to tell you and tell you how the whole experience went.
Do you suspect that you will be emotional on Saturday? Do you feel like just him not being there and having him in your corner will, maybe now you're able to put it aside, but in those moments as you're about to go out and in between rounds, do you think that you will miss him a lot?
No, I'm gonna be focused 100%. Maybe after the fight and after the
Yeah.
win,
Yeah.
because that's what I'm really going in for. But during the fight, no, I'm 100% focused. I got my eye on the prize. I don't really even see even when he was there. I don't see nothing. I'm looking dead across at Edson. Edson will be looking at the floor. He'll be looking around. I'm looking at him right in his face. So I'm gonna be 100% focused. It's all about this fight for me. And we'll see after the fight. Then maybe it will be some emotions. Maybe some of that stuff will come out. But it's just gonna play out how it's gonna play out, and I'm just gonna let it.
And by the way, last time, of course, as you know, I don't have to tell you, the weight cut was a big part of the story. You ended up making weight, but there was a drastic cut in the last 24 hours. Could you tell us how much you weigh now and how you expect the final weight cut to go?
I ain't gonna tell you how much I weigh. You got
Okay.
me in some trouble with that one, though, Ariel.
What?
But I will say this: I'm down to 4.5% body fat. I'm
Damn.
lean and mean. I'm lean and mean. I'm looking green. I'm ready to go out there. So the weight cut will go smooth. I've done the weight cut 22 times now, something like that. So it'll go smooth. I'm confident in it. And this one has been a little bit different. I've been working a lot down at the UFC PI. They've been monitoring me every single week, making sure that my hydration is on point, my body fat percentage is on point, leaning off some of my muscle. So I'm confident in this one.
Okay. And by the way, when did I get you in trouble? I thought we were cool.
Come on, Ariel. You know how you do. You know
What?
how you do. But
What?
It's cool. It's good. It's all good.
Do you have a nutritionist working with you in Atlantic City the last days before the cut?
Nah. I mean, I know my body better than anybody else. I was thinking about it maybe, but a lot of them nutritionists, it just seemed like it's all smoke and mirrors. So it's my experience is going out there. Usually fall has helped me a little bit with the cut, but I've done it so many times. I mean, it's gonna be a cake. It ain't gonna be a walk in the park. Each one is as hard as the last one, but it'll be what it is.
And what about your health? I mean, no staph infections, no nothing. We're in good, we're in good shape.
That's been one of the biggest focuses on this camp is making sure I show up 100% healthy, making sure the mental is there, everything is there. I feel like that was too much of the stress on my mind was coming out physically in infections, and I've done a lot of reading up on it and a lot of studying and going to seek psychologists and understanding myself even more. So I feel like that part has really has been the biggest added addition to this camp. So 100%, I feel healthy. I feel ready to fight. I can't wait. Look at me. I can't wait.
I can't wait either. It goes down this Saturday, April 21st, Boardwalk Hall, Atlantic City, FS1 here in the United States. Edson Barboza against Kevin Lee, one of the very best fights that the UFC could put on at 155. Good luck to you, my man. Thank you for doing this. Always great to catch up. And I wasn't trying to get you in trouble. I was just curious, genuinely curious. I don't want any problems this time. 19 pounds, 18 pounds. I mean, it's a little scary, all that. So that's all. I'm just looking out. All right. I'm just looking out.
I'll text you Thursday night. I'll let you know.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. Good luck to you, my man.
You got it.
There he is, the Motown phenom himself, Kevin Lee.